What is up, Nephilim? This is Chig coming at you from Sanctuary with another D3 build guide. Today we are going to be going over the t16 version of the Rathma build, which is kind of funny and kind of fun and overall interesting, to say the least. Not the fastest key build for the Necromancer, but it is also not super squishy like mages, so there's that. Anyway, before we hop into it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, anything you can do to help out the channel for free. Also, do not forget we are doing a giveaway as soon as we hit 1,000 subscribers. As soon as we roll over to 1,001, I will be figuring out who won. In order to enter, you have to be subscribed to the channel, like and comment on any video where it is mentioned, and every video that you like and comment on, you will be entered one time into the giveaway. I will be giving away a copy of D4 or a game of your choice if you've already purchased it, depending on what time it rolls around. Anyway, since that's out of the way, let's hop right into it. This is Rathma, T16. It's interesting. So, big thing, caveat, you need to roll cooldown on stuff, because otherwise it's kind of a pain in the butt to play. But if you roll cooldown on some things, you will be golden. It is amazing. It is easy. It is actually kind of fun because of the way it works, and you get to blow stuff up and shoot your skeletons around. Like, the playstyle is kind of fun. Alright, so let's hop right into it. We are using 5 pieces of the Rathma set. We are using the legs, the shoulders, the chest, the gloves, and the helmet. We are not using the feet because we are using the Captain Crimson set. Whichever you have better of, boots or pants for Rathma, craft the other for Captain Crimson's, and then you wear the Captain Crimson belt, right? Alright, so your stats on this are going to be cooldown, crit, area damage. So cooldown is the biggest thing, crit, and then area damage. As you can see, every place I can have cooldown, I do have cooldown, except my necklace, because you also want physical damage on your bracers and your neck if you can get it. My neck is just happens to be the one I use on my barbarian, so it's fine. Alright, so the 2 set Rathma, your permanent minions reduce the cooldown of Army of the Dead by 0.5 seconds each time they deal damage. Your skeletal warriors spawn faster, and your revived minions no longer expire. All that will come into fruition in a minute. The 4 set, your minions no longer take damage. You gain 1% damage reduction for 15 seconds each time one of your minions deals damage, max 75 stacks. So the only problem with this build is getting the toughness rolling, and you just kind of have to play back at first, and then you can go ham. Once you get rolling, you have all the toughness in the world. It's really nice. 6 set. Each permanent active minion increases the damage of Army of the Dead by 1,750% up to 31,500%. So since we're reviving things and we've got all of our skeletons, the build does revolve around Army of the Dead. Obviously it's the Army of the Dead set, but we'll go over that in a moment. The necklace is the Squirt's necklace. While not taking damage, damage dealt is increased by up to 100%, and damage taken is reduced by increased by up to 50%. We're using the Bonds of Selena, which is an incredible pair of bracers. These are crazy. Army of the Dead deals up to 100% increased damage, double the bonus against active targets of command skeletons. So basically what you want to do is, yeah, we'll talk about that in the gameplay section in a minute, but it's incredible. We're using the Captain Crimson's belt and boots. So the 2 set Captain Crimson's cooldown and resource cost by 20%. Amazing. 3 set damage dealt increased by your percentage of cooldown reduction, and damage taken reduced by your percentage of cost reduction. We are stacking cooldown. We have 60% cooldown on this build. So we are getting huge benefits from the Captain Crimson set. Using Crisbin's Sentence, you deal 98% damage to slowed enemies, triple this bonus against enemies afflicted by any other type of control impairing effect. We don't have anything other than slow on this build, so that's kind of a moot point, but we're at 98%. It's pretty good. Brig's Wrath, we're using this in this version because uncursed enemies are pulled to the target location when a curse is applied to them. We'll talk about that in a second in the skill section, but that makes this build even smoother to play. And then we're using the Jessith Arms set, the Scythe and the Shield. 2 set. When the target of your command skeleton dies, your skeletons are automatically commanded to attack a nearby target. Your skeletons will attack anything until the screen is clear. Once the screen is clear, you have to tell them to attack again, which is fine. It's not bad at all. And then the other part of the 2 set is while your skeletons are commanded to attack a target, you deal 400% increased damage, which is amazing. It's going to make our Army of the Dead a little stronger. So the gems, we have a big cooldown gem in the hat, and then we're just putting intelligence everywhere that we can, right? Everywhere that we can, we want intelligence, and it is gonna be crazy because, yeah, as you can see here, I've got 8,277 intelligence. I don't have any points in intelligence on my paragons just because I don't want anybody to think you can't do this. This is to simulate below 800 paragon. I just dumped it all into vitality, just why not, right? So in the cube, we've got Messerschmitt's Reaver, reduces the remaining cooldown of one of your skills by 1 second whenever you slay an enemy. So the skills that are the biggest here are Army of the Dead and Blood Rush. Bone Armor, you just want to get it up to 10 stacks one time. You don't want to use it more than that because we're not using Dislocation or anything. We'll go over that in a moment. Fate's Vow, Army of the Dead deals an additional 250% damage and gains the effect of the Unconventional Warfare rune. We'll go over that in a moment as well. And then the Ring of Royal Grandeur, so we've got the 3-piece of the Crimsons and the 6-piece of the Rathma. So on to the skills. This is why Brig's Wrath is important. Frailty, Aura of Frailty. You are emitting an aura that applies Crippling Curse, which kills enemies within 15 yards with less than 15% health. And the range of this is increased by up to 50% of your gold pickup radius. So we do have a little bit of gold pickup radius. If you have an Avarice band on your follower, it makes it even better. I need to actually check and see if I have an Avarice band I can put on my follower because that would make that even better. Revive, Personal Army. Damage taken reduced by 1% for each revived minion active. And you also get damage reduction based on them dealing damage up to 75% on your set. So, you know, it just helps out in the long run. So what we're going to do is revive the first couple enemies we kill, and then you're never going to push that button again because they can't take damage. Blood Rush Potency, this is just dash and get move speed in between dashes. Command Skeleton Frenzy, so command your skeleton minions to attack the target and increase their damage by 50%, attack speed by 25% as they attack it. Raise skeletons from the ground every 2 seconds, max 7 skeletons, they deal damage per physical attack, right? So yeah, we're just going to be commanding them and letting them smack stuff. They're going to be getting our Army of the Dead cooldown back, which is our biggest attack, our biggest ability. This is what the build's based around. Raise the storm of the dead surrounding your damaging... Let me try that again. Raise the storm of the dead that surrounds you, damaging enemies by 15,500% weapon damage as physical over 5 seconds. So after we get everything up, this is just going to one-shot everything. It doesn't one-shot the Guardian, but it one-shots just about everything else. And then Bone Armor, rip bones from nearby enemies, dealing weapon damage as cold, and create armor that reduces damage taken by 3 per enemy, up to a maximum of 10 enemies. So it's going to give us 30% damage reduction. The big thing here is we're going to have 10% increased movement speed from this because we're going to have it at 10 stacks at all times after we get it stacked up. We're using Blood as Power. After cumulatively losing 100% of your maximum life, ability cooldowns are reduced by 20%. This effect cannot reduce the cooldown more than once each time the ability is used. So this is basically, since we're dashing around and stuff, and since we're using our Army of the Dead, it's just going to help us get our cooldowns back quicker. We're going to be spamming stuff. It's incredible. Dark Reaping, while using a Scythe, gain 2% essence and life per kill. So as we're commanding our skeletons, we are dumping our essence really quickly, right? So killing things, this is going to help us get all of that back. It's going to make it a little easier. Final Service, this is because it takes a minute to get our toughness up. When you take lethal damage, you're sustained, preventing all damage for 4 seconds. In addition, you heal for 10% life per minion. This effect cannot occur more than once every 60 seconds. So this is just so if we get one tap while we're trying to get our toughness up, we're fine. and then overwhelming essence because we can be essence starved. Alright, so I'm also going to show you what the unconventional warfare rune does on Army of the Dead. So we've got Dead Storm for the bone, and then unconventional warfare that will rise from the ground and attack random targets for 50,000 of total weapon damage as physical over 4 seconds. So they're going to be coming around us. They're going to be we're going to be one-shotting stuff. So first things first, you pop in here. Do keep in mind this is a t16 build. So dash, send your skeletons in, let them do some damage. Go in, get your bone armor up, blow them up, summon your dudes, and now we roll, right? Like you just keep moving. That's the whole point. Command your skeletons, and then Army of the Dead. That's literally all we're doing. So with the build, I normally don't pick up items in T16s because we don't normally need them, but I am trying to gather the rest of the items that I need for the other build guides for Necromancer. So I do kind of need them right now, but I will skip the rest of them. So the whole purpose of this build is to kill things fast enough to keep up almost permanent uptime on the Army of the Dead, right? You want the Army of the Dead swirling around you basically all the time. So you just don't want to stop. That's kind of the TLDR of this build, is you don't want to stop because you want to be able to keep your Army of the Dead up at all times. And as you can see, we touch things and they die. That's literally it. You touch it and they die. And then every now and then, if it falls off, you got to wait for it to come back up. But most of the time, as long as you're moving, it will just keep killing things. It will just keep killing things. It will just keep killing things. I did not go over the gems in the gear, in the jewelry. We are using Bane of the Trapped for extra damage to slowed enemies, and we will always be slowing enemies because we're always in melee range. We are using Bane of the Powerful just because extra damage while we're running around. And we are also using Boon of the Hoarder. We're not using it for the conventional gold wrap, because we don't have gold wrap in this build because we're using the Captain Crimson set. We use it because it gives us move speed when we pick up gold. So you're farming gold, you're farming your keys, super easy build. So yeah, just go ahead and put this one together. It's super easy. Rathma is fun to play. It's a good pushing build. So, I mean, may as well do it. It's easy. It's chill. It's fun. You get all these minions. They look cool. Just knock this one out, guys. If you're still here, thanks for sticking around. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Don't forget about our giveaway. And go get those legendaries, guys.